that would be great. And please also just drop me the link and
Absolutely.
afterwards, and it will share with the community.
Setting up right now, so we should be at any moment. Usually it gets started. We'll hear a little bit of an echo and then that's it.
Okay.
Perfect. So hey, Erwin, so it looks like we have ourselves live right now. Give me one moment while I drop that new link for you and we can update the community about this. I'll send it to you here on the chat.
Hey everyone. Hope everyone's doing great. Thanks for inviting me here. Let me share the link as well with the community.
So Erwin, I so stoked to have you here. My team was, I mean, all week long ecstatically telling me about this amazing project. And to be frank, I am shocked I haven't heard of you guys sooner. I haven't dove into you guys' project sooner because I've been looking for like a Farmville-esque, something that can bring back that nostalgia, but actually has that, I guess, intelligent economy that I love, that so many Solana projects have. And it's an honor to have you here, my friend.
Appreciate that a lot. Thanks for the great intro, I guess, description of DeFi Land, and yeah, thanks for inviting me here. And let's dive into the details.
Absolutely. Well, I guess to start off, just because I know there'll be a whole range of folks. I mean, you guys cover a lot of bases, everything from DeFi to NFTs, gaming, and I've definitely got some fun questions to dive into. But before we get into the techie and nerdy stuff, I'd love to know, what is it that got you involved with DeFi Land, and what gets you so excited about what you do?
So yeah, I believe so we personally, I have been involved in crypto since 2017, and I was just trading with some shit coins, and then I got caught in the bull run, and then like there was a huge fall in 2018, and I believe I lost 95% of my entire portfolio. That was actually a really sad moment, as like I mainly had some random coins with the random names that were not doing anything at all. And but the thing is that I have learned the lesson that time, and the best decision I've ever made is that I have stayed in the crypto, so I didn't really quit. Yeah, I didn't really kind of actively trade or did any stuff, but I always read the news. I always just stayed updated with all the new technology or new products. And since DeFi summer in 2020, got really heavily involved in DeFi and the NFTs. And I was always trying to explain and educate on those topics to my friends and family members. And the thing is that it was so hard for them to understand, like, just why should I trust the platform, how they can just give me so much money for free. There should be like the Ponzi scheme and so on and so on. So it was really hard to just basically onboard new retail users. And because of that, I always wanted to create something that would be helpful for the retail to understand how DeFi and NFTs work, as well as it will be just not only just helpful to learn, but also fun to use, and also just actually just kind of really innovative as well. So that's how we just came up with DeFi Land. But yeah, I've been involved in crypto for 5 years, and eventually decided to just become a founder in the Web3 as well.
That's amazing. Well, especially the transition from 2017 through the bull run, losing it. I'm sure there's a lot of people. I know I've definitely lost quite a bit to the various volatility we've been on. What was it that kept you involved in? Because a lot of folks, they'll step away from crypto after losing their shirts, and sounds like you just doubled down.
Yeah, so it was actually, like, it's kind of really hard to say that everyone loves to say the tech, but I believe it is something like, we since the beginning we thought that like me and my team members as well, we have been just doing this crypto stuff and the other stuff as well all the time together, and we thought that like crypto indeed had really good momentum, and it could potentially be really helpful for not only just the people, but also just for everyone, like for the retail, for the industrial, for the corporatives, so basically for everyone. And we just thought that in 2018 the time was not on. I believe like still we're early. Like there are not really many great solutions because of the blockchain is struggling a lot. It's not really much that you can build on right now. So there are some products that cannot be replaced with Web3, which are on the Web2. So we're still early. I believe in this technology goes further. We're gonna be seeing the progress as well. But we at that time we saw that there were several use cases and which were pretty powerful, and we thought that something like DeFi, like the payments and everything, will exist. And just kind of decided to just stay and see and basically bet on this field and industry. And I believe that was really great thing. And as we were reading more and more about the so I actually really love the bear market, to be honest. So like the bull market is the time when everything is exciting, when everything like the some randoms when a lot of scams are happening, when some just random meme coins are pumping and so on. When there is a bear market, the thing is that only true builders are building, and when you go and just see the news, you're going to be seeing really quality products with really great use cases, which actually makes you think, oh, this is actually a really great idea. It's like that actually makes sense. So blockchain is really an amazing thing and that can be helpful for many in different ways. So I believe because of that, we have seen really great products. And at the DeFi summer, we just saw that really great use case in DeFi. And since then, I believe we doubled down and just kind of started building and believing even more.
And I love that perspective about being able to point out that during a bear market, when it's quieter, there's a lot less scams. You know what you're dealing with, there's a lot more value. Something you touched on that I think is super interesting that's unique about DeFi land is that education component. Because I know I've been in blockchain a little over a year now. Started right around the end of the pump coming out of 2021, and made every mistake in the book when getting started. And DeFi was something that really, it was probably months of kind of wading through the waters and not fully understanding it. And I'm trying to think about 2017, even stable coins, they were not nearly as standardized as they are now. So fundamental concepts that I guess we kind of take for granted now, you've actually seen evolve from the start. And then to hear how you guys saw where the industry was going next and pivoting and positioning yourselves for that. Before we dive into some of these exciting specifics you have here, then what is it that you guys see, and all the changes, all the craziness that's happening, where do you see that things are going next?
So it's actually a really interesting question. So it can be so many different directions, and more time goes, you see more and more new directions coming out, and so that you couldn't really think of before. So I believe at some point, if blockchain and the crypto goes the right way, then potentially like the majority of all the services, all the products can be running on the blockchain. So the thing is that I don't really love to kind of force the services and products to just go and integrate blockchain, because if it doesn't really make sense, you shouldn't do that. Just because like some of these projects are just doing that to just do a cash grab without any tokenomics, any idea behind doing so. So, but I believe that like the really powerful thing is going to be the gaming, for sure, as well as the decentralized finance as an idea is great, but like current way of a yield farming, current way of all the different like the lending and borrowing is not really great. I believe if we just change the UX and just if it becomes more less complex and also just less somewhat like a Ponzi scheme, I believe that will be great. Because like for example, there are still the yield farms that provide some like 5-digit APYs, and then the ones who come late, they just get dumped on by those who had invested at the beginning. So it's becoming like the Ponzi scheme. So hopefully we're gonna be just kind of moving to DeFi 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and I believe they're gonna be going really well. And I see totally that I don't really see that the banks will be fully replaced by DeFi, because the banks are providing somewhat different. Like people love centralized stuff. Like people just tend to trust the centralized entities, and at some point, so I believe banks are here to stay. But the DeFi has its own audience as well, and it can be used for trading. It can be used for just kind of swapping. AMMs are great things, and just also lending and borrowing can be great for the traders and so on, the options and everything can be done on the blockchain. But on the other hand, I believe that gaming is really the next big thing that can happen to the crypto, because it's actually NFTs, and the gaming and blockchain is really great idea, and it helps everyone. It's not like it's good for the community and it's bad for the company or the vice versa. It's basically good for it's a win-win situation for everyone. But the problem is that nowadays NFTs are pitched so bad way. So it's like every gamer that I know hates NFTs. Like if they hear that their favorite game is going to integrate the NFT, they just would never play that game anymore. Like I know that there was FTX just bought the Starbucks. I believe the Storybook Brawl. I believe that's the name. The card game, and the game was really popular, like and it's popular as well. And I just went to the Steam comments on the game, and I saw that there are people are just commenting that, oh, FTX just bought this game, so they're gonna integrate NFTs. Let's leave. I'm not gonna play this game anymore, and so on and so on. So there is so much negativity about NFTs, and it's not the random, or it's not the out of nothing. The thing is that everyone is just doing NFTs just for scam the community, right? So they just gonna do the cash grab, and they never do anything with NFTs. Because of that, gamers know that NFTs are ruining the game so far. But I believe once with this first cycle of NFTs in gaming goes out, and once like the scammers scam, and only the real people who really want to integrate NFTs are left, then I believe we're gonna be seeing really great integrations with in-game skins, in-game playable characters, lands and items, basically everything being in NFTs, which actually can benefits the users and players a lot than just kind of having a digital asset, which is actually on the centralized AWS blockchain, like AWS database. And basically the team can anytime just take it from you or give it to someone else. So I believe that that's really the great thing for the gaming. And in several years, I believe the gaming will be really, really big thing on the blockchain.
I think there's a lot to unpack there, but the ability to create an identity from this Web3 world that's uniquely different. Kind of like you compared there's banks, but DeFi is something entirely different. And if you look at traditional gaming, concepts such as ownership and identity, we're getting there, but it's a little bit different. I guess one of the things I wonder, because man, there's a lot you guys have had to not just the hurdles of overcoming just standard challenges of breaking into DeFi, but also, like you said, gamers, they're often running away from NFTs hardcore. I mean, there's entire channels dedicated to NFT scams. Yet you guys have been able to scale past 100,000 Twitter followers or followers from all around from what I've seen. You guys have raised millions, 4+ million from fire funds such as Jump, and I think I saw FTX as well, and Solana, and to see the way that you've got some heavy hitters behind you. What did you guys do to earn the trust, not just of your community, but also of the investors to get that entire spectrum for this game?
Yeah, I believe the thing was that so we started building at the end of the May 2021, and by the time it was it can be thought that like at the time that the bull market was gonna ending, and so you can actually name that it was. So you can say that there is no bull or bear market, but I believe like we can actually label that anyway. So like the bull run was ending, and everyone was super excited, and then afterwards like the Bitcoin crashed, like it just went to 28,000, and Solana crashed, and it went to $20, and like it was so scary times that like everyone who was building, they were scared, they were just quitting, and they were just kind of selling their assets what they had, and we started building that time, and we didn't really care about much about the ongoing situation and what's happening. We just actually had the idea, and we thought that it would be really fun and really creative and also innovative to deliver, and people would love that. And there was Solana hackathon going by that time, and we just jumped in the Solana hackathon, and we actually jumped in the middle, like it was like 1 week already in process, and then like it was only 1 week left, and we just jumped in and just built the stuff in just 1 week, and we won the Solana hackathon. It was like really unexpected, to be honest, and as like there were 1,000+ more attendees, and it was all over the world, and it was kind of really crazy to win that. But I believe after that, we actually kind of looked at the DeFi from different angle. So at the beginning, we just thought that it would be just fun and plus somewhat really helpful for everyone. But like then we thought that it actually can change a lot of lives and it can be really helpful for everyone in the NFTs, DeFi, gaming, play to earn. Basically, it could be really big. And then we just kind of came up with all the idea that are we doing right now. And since the beginning, we created the Discord and Twitter and everything. And we just since the beginning, we just were directly connecting and just kind of communicating with the people everywhere. So it's kind of pretty rare, to be honest, in the crypto that the founders are directly communicating in the channels. Like you're gonna see that there are some founders who are always active on the Twitter, just kind of posting and tweeting and just doing AMAs. But on the other hand, like personally, me and my co-founders, we're always like in the Discord. We're just if you just come if you're new, like a new member in the crypto, like it's like your first time in the crypto Discord. Still, we are here just kind of texting with you and everything. So it's kind of not to brag or anything, but really unique, and I believe that's what helped us to build the trust of the community as well as like we have never run away with any problems, and we have never hidden that. We always just sit there and just fully with transparency just talk about that. Because of that, I believe the investors as well saw that, and our development speed never slowed down at all, like never. We are only accelerating all the time. I believe that was really seen really well as our MVP was built really soon, and that was it. But also, I believe like a lot of people also can sometimes say that like we have bad tokenomics and it could have been done better. But the problem was exactly that when we were raising, the problem was that Solana was $20, like, and no one would give you any money at all. Like we were talking with like, so I'm not gonna name drop, but we were talking with one of the tier one fund, and on the call, this guy is looking on the second screen and just is really panic selling. And he said like, we just liquidated $40 million of the assets, so let's just not have this call. So I believe we're not in the mood of investing, and let's just connect in several months and see what goes. Like it was like so crazy time. It was like tier one fund, and they weren't even just going for 100,000 investment or anything at all. And by the time we had to create the tokenomics that would benefit somewhat more than it would just be it's kind of raising in the bull run is so much easier. So we did that, and I believe everyone saw that like we were fully transparent. We were just dedicated to that, and we had to talk with Solana team, and I believe the first investor we got was Solana team actually, and after that, like we got the intros, we got it was actually the domino effect, just one by one. We just actually got to the like the Jump, FTX, and really great investors out there, and I believe that was Animoca Brent as well, and I believe that was really because of the hard work, dedication, and just kind of full transparency of to the our community and just kind of building the community. So yeah, I believe with that, and also like we were raising for 2 months, like really actively. We had like 10 calls per day for just 2 months. It was really hard, but I believe because of that, we managed to get those investors.
Well, the persistence and drive and energy that you and the team have had, it makes a lot of sense why you've been able to attract such great partners and such a great community. You know, one of the things that was really stood out to me about your project, and it's hard to identify what you guys are. I can't really call it a game because it's not just a game. I can't just call it an NFT because it's not only an NFT. But your project as a whole, it's something that you've taken these different disciplines that are each one of them could be a difficulty that many people don't surpass. And from what I've seen so far, you guys have nailed it. I mean, a game that's actually fun, that people are enjoying playing and they're finding is addicting, a design that is captivating on a style that makes sense. And on top of that, to be playing with things like tokenomics, which are very much dependent on the day and how you guys are, you know, what the market looks like at that time. I guess how do you do that as a team? Do you have someone who specializes in each section? Is it like a division team kind of thing? Do you have advisors crowdsourcing the community? Like, what does it take to pull off this seemingly impossible task that you guys have well achieved?
I really appreciate that. I believe that that's the answer is everything. So like the team is like first of all, like the team is like every single team member is an amazing person and dedicated to this project. So the least team member that we have that works per day is like 9-10 hours. Everyone is like on average working like 13-14 hours per day, and I believe that's not just because like the salary, or it's not just about the just kind of having great idea, that they are actually really passionate with what they are doing, and they feel the kind of responsibility to the community to deliver the things that they are working on. And like everyone, like even if you just take the individual, it's not like there's a team spirit only. It's like individually everyone is super motivated, and plus on top of that the team spirit is really great. I believe the reason to that is that we always like, there are some projects who decide to, let's say we're going to build for 2 years our AAA game, and then we're going to deliver, and then let's see how it goes with small updates. But
Yeah.
since the beginning we said that we really want to kind of engage with the community and be the community driven project. So everyone says that they're a community driven project, they listen to the community and so on, they have governance, and they do some stuff, but like in those kind of projects they just do really so small votings, like what token should we integrate next, or like what should we do, really small votings, right? But in DeFi Land, we every week we have a EMA for hours. We are always talking with the community. We're always just kind of getting their ideas and kind of making that come true. So since the beginning, since basically September, we have had like 55 different patches, updates, and like on every single patch we're adding new features from the community. We're always changing, we're always fixing, we're doing so many stuff. And I believe because of that, it just kind of back and forth, like we create a new patch, we just update that, we got the instant feedback, what they love, what they had, this game lagging, this game can perform better, and so on and so on. I believe because it's so kind of dynamic, the team feels that, and also community feels that. I believe that's basically great for both of us. But also I believe that building something that is innovative, like it's not just another DeFi project which is just different UI or colors, right? It's not just another game which has already built for 1,000 times. It's actually the combination of all those stuff, like the NFTs, as the gaming, the DeFi, like all the things. And I believe because of that, the team is also exciting to work on this. It's really challenging. It's so hard to kind of build DeFi Land, because like as no one has ever done this stuff as we're coming up with ideas, it's always like we have the first mover advantage, but also we have first mover disadvantage of making mistakes, because like we don't know what's the right thing to do, what's the bad thing to do. So like we're always just try to think beforehand, but like we also make a lot of mistakes, and then we learn from those. And like it has been such an amazing way, the past that we have come, and I believe that in the future we're going to be making a lot of mistakes as well. But I believe we are already really wise that we're going to be not going to be repeating the mistakes that we already did. And so how teamwork is that we have somewhat the squads who are working on different things. Like there are two squads of the game developers, we have 3D designers and the design team, and the UI UX, and also we have like kind of team leads on the, so I'm the team lead mainly, but like we also have the kind of squad leads as well for the DeFi and NFT part in the gaming. So we have 3 different squads. The thing is that we sometimes kind of borrow resources from one squad to another, because like sometimes we just have to fully focus on, for example, we just had an NFT launch, so we had to fully focus on NFTs. But I believe mainly once we don't have to rush some stuff, we're working in these 3 different squads, and so far we found that super helpful. And also the people really underestimate the working at the same office. So the core team is actually at the same office, and people think that like you can just be anywhere in the world and just work from the remote office and so on. And that's an option. That's an option for sure. Like you can do that as well. But like being at the same office, at the same building, with seeing the faces of the people, just feeling the energy, and also just whenever you have a question, just directly going to them and just asking and brainstorming together is like, it makes your team 2x 3x productive. So I believe that I actually recommend everyone who is building, and if they want to build at really high speed, high pace, I believe you should definitely get in the same office as well. So I believe that's the DeFi team in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's powerful. Well, it's interesting to hear you describe how the transparency, the consistency, the humility that you and your team have, that really sounds like what brought everything together so well and allowed for this fast pace. My last AMA was with a gentleman who has a project that is completely centered around raising capital for Web3 projects. And when I asked him, what is it that is, separates those who get funded and those who don't? And how do investors choose a leader that's going to likely give them a return or they're going to feel good investing in? And humility, the ability to be able to take action, and if they're wrong, to admit it, and to take that risk of transparency with the community the way you guys do it. It sounds like it's definitely paid dividends, and in the form of progress, in the form of action. I mean, you guys are leagues ahead of many other projects that try to compare themselves. And I guess I wonder when now if I take the more operations hat off and look more at the community. In the community, you're going to have folks that they're probably more comfortable on the NFT side of things. Perhaps they're more used to PFP drops, a little bit of gaming, but then you have the DeFi community, which is, I mean, that's its own subculture within crypto. And so I wonder then, as a team and as a way that you, I guess, communicate to people, since such a core part of this project is education, how do you communicate to the different groups of folks within your community in a way that can get everybody excited around this singular project that you guys are building?
Uh, that's a great question, and we have been trying to figure out how to communicate like such a different people with the same kind of messaging, and it was really hard since the beginning. And I believe we still are not there, but we have improved our messaging indeed. The thing is that we are trying to create the products that not only that we're not trying to create a product that is separate for DeFi users and separate for the NFTs, but create somewhat the mutual that actually would somewhat interest the NFT users and make them learn about DeFi, and some of the DeFi users and then make them to learn about the NFTs. So that's been our approach. So for example, in DeFi land, it's not like we're building a lot of and adding a lot of new features as well, but like if you are a DeFi user, like the play to earn is actually like the combination of DeFi and NFTs, because like the play to earn is somewhat like DeFi, right? You have like your NFT, and then it actually gives you the yield if you use that, right? So it's basically something like the yield farming. You can actually do that, and also in the game we have like the swaps, like the portfolio management, yield farming as well, and all those stuff, and adding some more DeFi features. While you will be able to do those with your NFTs. This is something like the combination of both. And people like there are some people who just come to DeFi and they want to flip the NFT, but the majority of those, when they are gone, there are the people left who just care about the NFTs, but also some of the, like we have had like I remember the names, like they who were hating on the DeFi part, and they were just telling us not to develop that and fully focus on NFT and gaming. And then after some time, several weeks of kind of learning about DeFi, and they became really heavy DeFi users, and also vice versa. The people who were hating on NFTs, like there was one of my friends as well, and they wanted to just have like DeFi part in kind of more developed, like having more and more new integrations coming, and not really NFT part. They bought in several NFTs as well, and one of them is actually already the Solana Monkey business holder as well, which is really kind of really expensive one. So I believe like the end goal for DeFi Land is just to make everyone realize that there are, so not to be maxis, like I'm not the NFT maxi, I'm not DeFi maxi, but actually learn about everything. So that's the main goal for us. And I believe with these play to earn coming, and then like the lending and borrowing and the cross-chain integrations and everything, I believe we're going to be having the full pack of the features and the services that one new user or the already experienced user can come and experience all those stuff at the same time without having to worry about what they do, how they they should interact with that, so they don't lose any money. So I believe the main goal is to not just split those people into different audiences, but actually unite them and just make them curious on different sides of the monet coin.
Yeah, it's powerful. I love the way that sounds like the single message there is to create that unified experience and to incentivize folks to see the value that's on both sides and all sides of the ecosystem. I guess I wondered then, going to and this may be a tougher question to answer because there's so many ways that you can go. But when it comes to the play to earn aspect of things, how do you guys balance that then with the NFTs, which people are investing to purchase, with the DeFi side of things where they're interacting and they're yes, providing the seeds for different liquidity pools or for farming or whatever aspects it might be. What do you guys see as the main incentive that you have and how you balance the value generation from play to earn?
Yeah, I believe like there are different. So as I said, like I'm not gonna be. So we don't really want to split the audiences into different parts. But anyway, we have three different offers for three different parts of the group that play DeFi and what their main incentive and why they play DeFi and is. So I'm gonna explain those. The first of all, we have the crypto noobs, which are the people who don't really had much experience with DeFi or NFTs, and they just are, maybe they have been playing some other play to earn games and they have the cryptocurrency and they want to learn what they can do with it instead of just kind of selling that and just getting some money, right? So we for them, DeFi is a playground where they can learn about DeFi, NFTs, play to earn, the cryptocurrency and everything at the same place. And the thing is that we are actually in the process of developing and testing already the educational mode, which is somewhat like the testing mode, the practice mode, where users can on the test net actually do the different swaps, interact with the AMMs, do yield farming, try to purchase some NFTs and so on and so on, with the same UX as if they were doing on the main net. And the thing is that they will be not losing any money at all, as they can test different strategies, they can test out how everything works and so on. And without worrying that they will just lose their money savings, right? And because of that, that's really unique. And on top of that, we have explained like on 5 tutorials, like let's say what is the wallet, how does AMM work, or what the liquidity providing and impermanent losses and so on. So I believe once with all those stuff, the crypto noobs will be having just one place where they can be onboarded, because like right now, if there is nothing like that. You have like if you want to learn about DeFi and NFTs really well, you just have to just do the 1 month research on the different YouTube channels, on the Medium articles and so on, which is really, really hurtful. If you are not really tech savvy, it's like super hard to understand what those complex terms and everything mean, right? I believe that that's going to be helpful for in the DeFi and for those people. On the other hand, we have the place where the DeFi users can come and just be happy, because power users of DeFi are really hard to actually incentivize to try new protocols if there's like not a huge yield or anything like that. So we came up with the idea that instead of kind of creating our own liquidity providing or our own swaps or everything, let's actually run on top of already existing protocols. And that what actually is really great about that is just for us, we are not actually just thinking about all those activities to kind of sustain and kind of maintain all these kind of features and everything. And on the other hand, the user is getting access to all the different existing protocols like the Radium, Serum, Orca, Saber, Jupiter, and Prism, and so on, which is actually really great because they can from one place basically interact with all those different activities and all the different platforms without any additional fee. So they can just actually go and just provide the liquidity on the Radium, then plant some farms in the DeFi land, then just swap on the Orca and so on. So basically, it's like the unique place where they can just get all the DeFi experience that they need on different platforms. So it's something like the gamified Zapper experience. And plus, on top of that, you have tasks and achievements coming that, let's say, going to tell you that swap 10 times that's list of hundreds of dollars and you're going to be getting 5 DFL token, or just swap 10 times on the Radium using DeFi and you will be getting 5 RAID tokens and so on. So basically, there are different kind of incentives for doing the activity that you already do. So I believe that's going to be really more and more DeFi users going to be coming to DeFi land. And finally, so also there is NFT users who want to just trade the NFTs and nothing else. They will be able to just we're building our own marketplace. It will be, I believe, delivered in just 1 week. And with that, I believe it's gonna be really amazing that everyone will be able just to not to just do DeFi, but also trade on DeFi and with NFTs and stake them and do some stuff. So we also have like the bank building in DeFi and like where you can stake and just do different kind of stuff with DFL. And finally, there is a play to earn aspect, which is really underestimated, I believe. The thing is that if you know the play to earn really well, the thing is that the most of the games are working such as the Ponzi scheme, because there are no sustainable economies. They are always printing new money without any enough funding mechanisms. And the thing is that whenever the user growth stops, then the token just crashes and it just doesn't really have much value because like there are no more users coming. So if you want to create the game which is actually sustainable and has play to earn mechanics, it first of all it should be fun and the people should be playing the game for free as well. So if you don't have a people who are genuinely enjoying to play the game, who if we don't have a people who just would come and just buy the skin in the game just for fun, just to feel really great and so on, then your game cannot be sustainable. Or other than that, you should have like the really huge revenue sources coming to the game so that you can actually fund these minting of the new tokens basically. But I believe that when in DeFi land, what we actually done is that instead of just kind of creating the game where you have just you play to earn since the beginning, but you can actually just have we created the game which doesn't really pay you anything at all at the beginning, and we had the game for 5 months running, already 6 months, and people were enjoying. Some of them, like there are a lot of people who are just airdrop hunters who just want to just get the airdrop and leave and dump on you. But the community that we have built are generally enjoying to play the game and like just listen to the music, just interact with the pets, and go for fishing and so on with different people's lands and so on. And we're adding more and more features, more kind of socializing elements, more games to play and so on. So we make it like more and more fun to play DeFi land. And I believe with that, and when you add the NFTs on top of already fun and a good game to play, that makes sense. So people are here to play the game, plus they can earn the money. It's not like if you have a game that people are just here to earn the money, you're not gonna make it for sure. You might just get yourself into several months like before there's a hype, but afterward the game is done. But in DeFi, and I believe the unique thing is that we have the game where people play and plus they earn. So I believe because of that, that's really unique. And also the thing is that instead of creating just the one unique entrance fee, for example, like in the other games, you have like the heroes, you have the characters, you have lands, and if you have those one NFT attributes, then you can just access all the different gaming mechanics, right? But in DeFi land, we think that that's really bad idea because it actually just benefits the guilds. So guilds buy these kind of or rich people, right? They buy this asset, then they rent those to the people who don't really have money, and they're becoming richer and richer, right? That's nothing like there's nothing bad with that, but I believe that there is a better concept that we came up with the idea that instead of creating this just one unique thing to one unique entrance point, we split this entrance point into different things such as the fishing rod, hunting guns, animals, and so on. So basically, all the actions in DeFi and all the mini games will have and already have their own NFT. And if you want to access the play to earn through those actions, you will need to get the specific NFT for that. And what makes that is that instead of creating this hero, which actually can do a fishing and pet their animals and so on, you will need to get the fishing rod for the fishing, right? The thing is that we have split this into different parts, which actually makes those NFTs more cheaper, basically, and more affordable. So the generation zero NFTs, I believe, will be becoming more and more expensive because it has specific utility that it can be earned. It can be used for earning in a specific period of time in exclusive beta mode as well. It has like unlimited crafting utility and everything. But the generation one, generation two, and other NFTs will be super cheap, I believe, and they can be maybe like if you have a common NFT on the marketplace, you might even buy that for like $10 as well. So it's like it will be so easy to get started in DeFi land that let's say if you're just the kid who wants to play to earn games for as a professional and make a living out of it, you can even start that for $10. And maybe if you don't even have $10, what you can do is that you go to DeFi and play the game for free, and there are the free to play leaderboards in DeFi as well coming. So if you will be in top 10, top 100, you will be getting DFL and some other currencies as well as a prize. So with those prizes, you can fund your way up to the play to earn and then just get started. You just get the one fishing rod, you just grind your way up, then you get some money to buy the second one or upgrade your already existing one and earn more. So I believe that's going to be really fun to see how people go when they interact with DeFi and play to earn. And to be honest, like I can't really wait to see the development process of the community and the path of how people actually upgrade their NFTs, craft new ones, and so on.
Man, Erwin, your enthusiasm and passion is absolutely infectious, and it's clear that the message you guys get out there about the accessibility of this game and the way that it's built to not just protect retail, but it's there for retail. It's there for the common person, and it makes my heart happy to hear a leader in this space that not only talks about this, but it's clear that you live it in the way that you're speaking with me, and then seeing in what you're doing as a project. I mean, you guys just had a successful drop of Gen Zero, and then immediately a week later, you've got the marketplace coming out, and this is on the back of months and months of being able to over deliver with your community and respond to feedback and to make adjustments. I guess I wonder, this is basically like a breakdown. We could probably make a dissertation off of your insights here on how to successfully run a project here in Web3. I've got to know what is your favorite element? Rarity aside, power aside, what items within the game do you think are the coolest or the funnest?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for that. So just to kind of exact the question, like which NFT items are the most fun to have on the
Your favorite, yeah, personally.
Yeah. So yeah, I believe like so we have the new Harvester game coming, and also somewhat repolished, more polished shooting game as well, and as well the fishing. But I believe like if you are a person of the more like the idle games, the animals are for you, and to take care of and they get some prize for that. And if you are more like the action gamer, the skill based gamer, then like those games like fishing and hunting and harvester will be more fun for me. Like I believe like I'm really good at the fishing. I've been catching the fish really well in the default land, and I believe I'm like top 5 features in default land currently. I believe we're going to be having the individual scoreboards for the different activities as well. But yeah, fishing is my favorite. Now we have like several more mini games in for some delivering. Like will be racing. There will be other mini games coming, and I believe then I might change my favorite mini game. But for so far, the fishing is my favorite.
That is so cool. Yeah, I remember as I can't even say as a kid, but RuneScape fishing and then World of Warcraft fishing. I can't count the hundreds of hours I've probably spent happily fishing inside of a game. So I'm glad to hear as a leader, your passion is also in fishing, because there's great joy that comes from it. And then I guess one of the last questions I have, my friend, man, I know you got a super busy schedule, and thank you so much for your time. I'd love to know more about your team and how you guys handle the creative process, because this is not only one of the best engaged and the most fascinating projects I've seen, but it's easily one of the most beautiful. So I'm wondering, what do you guys do to really get the creative juices flowing?
Yeah. So once again, we go there that the team is super hardworking and great. Everyone is super talented as well, and everyone is coming so with such an amazing background that like some folks were working with the Google, some folks were working with the Amazon, some were just designers for the game, really big game studios for for some several years and so on. And I believe because of that, it's actually all the experience that we have brings all these quality products together. But I believe also the thing is that we always like every day at the end of the day we have what we do is that we have a brainstorm session every day. Like it doesn't matter are we doing it, we are really busy, are we having like 24-hour deadline for anything, but and every day we sit at the same room in the brainstorm room, and what we do is that we have 1 hour sessions every day, and half an hour we do the brainstorming for what features might be should we do, and what should we change what already exists? And we do this daily because like every day some of them some like the ideas that we had the previous day, they would change, they are changed today, and it will be changed tomorrow when they are becoming better and better. They are perfected more and more. And only the other half hour, what are we doing is that we're looking at the comments on the Twitter, comments on the Facebook, on the Reddit, on the Discord, Telegram. Basically, we're scrolling on the big screen with all the comments and the tags that we got, and kind of analyzing. And it's not like just me, or it's not just the intern that we have. Like every single team member is looking at that and kind of thinking of what we have done wrong to get that negative comment, and what we have done right to get this positive comment. Analyzing all those stuff, kind of writing down the strength and the weaknesses, and just every day trying to kind of figure out how we can solve that. And I believe that's also kind of gives, like, I'm not really sure if there are many teams doing that, but I believe that that actually helps us a lot. And finally, for example, on the NFT sites, like not really many people were expecting DeFi Land to do NFT launch with really this quality NFTs. Not only we just did just the fishing rod NFTs with like hundreds of attributes, but we had 8 different NFTs, like the fishing rods, cats, dogs, and they each one of them had hundreds of attributes. So I believe it was like not easy indeed, but like when we do some stuff, we always prefer to do it with the quality than the quantity. But in this case, it was like both. So we always just think that whenever it kind of goes down with quality, that's always better. And in the team members, like this design and everything, like there's always like just someone thinks of some idea, then like everyone tries to discharge that idea and like came in with negative things, and like it just becomes better and better. And after the several cycles of these improvements, we came up with the great quality products that I believe, like we had never had the bad quality product. There might be some bugs, that's not the bad quality, but like as an idea, as a kind of the background of those stuff is always great. And I believe that's because of the team is super dedicated, and everyone is working together, and no one is selfish in here. So yeah, I believe that that's the key.
Man, that's powerful. I love the iterative process that you guys take, and yeah, you're so humble in the different attributes. I was poking through your documentation, your notes, and saw 2 billion different
Yeah.
variations. The number of different algorithms that you guys must have sorted to, and the attention to detail you have, all while maintaining an amazing personality and an amazing culture as a community. Erwin, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. And, I guess one of the things I did want to mention about your products before we go is I loved that I saw the Ukrainian balloon that you guys did, standing in solidarity, to see that not only are you guys building something, and of course, I'm sure your schedules are so busy, but to take the time to code that in, to be able to stand up and to bring people to support it, it showed that not only you guys thinking NFTs, gaming, DeFi, but to be able to even bring gamification to philanthropy, helping people actually make a difference in the world. I'm super bullish on your project, and I'm looking forward to going through this recording and making some content out of this for your team. And I sure hope that we get a chance to speak again too, Erwin. It's been an absolute pleasure.
I appreciate that a lot, and it was really an honor to speak with you as well. Great interview. And yeah, just we always, like, whenever we see that something that we should do, like we're never lazy. So when we thought that the war that started with the Ukraine and Russia, we actually built those stuff in 2 days, and just with designs and all the blockchain part and everything. And I believe that was kind of, that's like the least that we could have done. We have raised over $25,000 already through the in game. So I believe we are going to be continuing that, keeping that, and we only support the peace. Like we don't really want to see the war. And we have like friends of friends who are from the Ukraine, from the Russia, and like no one wants to see the war. It's like the world thing, and we're in the 21st century, and we shouldn't be seeing that. But yeah, hopefully everything kind of solves out super well. And just the one more thing about this, that like about these 2 billion variations. So we had so many variations actually that we had to take out the peaks and the pistols from the NFT drop. So
you had even more.
Yeah, we had 2 more NFTs, like the peaks, and we had also the pistols, and we just with like each of them like with hundreds of attributes, we have taken them out of the collection just because there was too much. Like it just like we over delivered, I guess. But we're gonna be kind of dropping those later in the summer, I guess. But yeah, like that was just another thing as well. But I really enjoyed to have a talk with you, and hopefully we're gonna be doing the part two as well later.
I'm looking forward to, my friend. Well, until next time, everyone, thank you for listening. That has made it here. Sorry for the inconvenience on the link